Yeah, at first it was kind of funny. LaVar Ball was kind of a loudmouth, and it's kind of goofy, but he did get 3 sons into UCLA. And I always said, as a dad, I'm not going to judge him, because if I could get all my kids to get free rides to UCLA or Stanford or USC or, any great school, Wisconsin, Michigan, Texas, heck, that's a hell of a dad. I was never going to criticize him. But then annoying and kind of funny has gotten really, really serious this morning. Magic Johnson's not happy, and Magic Johnson has a crisis on his hands this morning. LaVar Ball has come out and been quoted, "I want all 3 boys to play for the Lakers. If not, Lonzo will not resign." This is not a small things, folks. This morning, Rob Pelinka and Magic Johnson, in my opinion, are sitting in a room considering making calls to trade Lonzo. Don't kid yourself. Think about what's happening this weekend in Los Angeles. It is the NBA All-Star Weekend. So Magic Johnson, who's got 2 spots available, who can do max money for 2 stars, and they're all in LA this weekend. Okay? This is his Miss Universe pageant, and he woke up with a cold sore. This is a problem. It's 22 degrees in Cleveland. LeBron's coming to L.A. Forecast 77 and sunny. Palm trees everywhere. A beach near the stadium. Of course it is. It's L.A. This weekend is a showcase. All the stars are in Los Angeles. And I've got this pretty well sourced. Magic's going to put on quite a show. Magic is going to make himself very available. Magic wants to let everybody know how great Los Angeles is and how they treat their stars. Oh, he won't do anything illegal, but Magic Johnson was going to make this the weekend of weekends. Now Magic Johnson, the biggest story of the weekend, is answering questions about a kid who's not playing, Lonzo Ball, and his dad who's out of the country in Lithuania. This is not good. Listen, LaVar Ball's not going to stop. I've always known that. Getting attention and the media, they're his weapon. He's kind of weaponizing the media, using them to get attention. I get it. And most of the stuff he says is irrelevant. It's just a loving dad yapping and being a goofball, which he is. Loud and goofy, that's what he is. But this is different. This is demanding the whole Ball family plays, or Lonzo's not re-signing. Okay, LeBron's got no interest joining this circus because LaVar's not going to stop. His business is getting known. And the dream scenario for LaVar is LeBron coming to town, LaVar taking shots at him, and LeBron eventually getting so frustrated, he punches down. That's what they call it, punching down. And that elevates LaVar Ball's status. Magic Johnson has a real crisis on his hands this morning. And I would be surprised if he and Rob Pelinka aren't somewhere in those Lakers offices talking about the possibility of trading Lonzo Ball. Because Magic's all in on landing LeBron. Don't kid yourself. Paul George, Klay Thompson, those are appetizers. LeBron's the meal ticket. LeBron shifts the paradigm, changes the world. Paul George's a nice player. Klay Thompson, too. LeBron's on his way to his 8th straight final. LeBron and Paul George, eventually at Klay, Brandon Ingram, Kuzma. Yeah, that team wins the West. So, LaVar Ball, initially, 3 boys into UCLA, comments were goofy, big baller brand, Saturday Night Live mocks him. Yeah, he's relevant. This is a crisis. And it's especially a crisis because this weekend is All-Star Weekend. And the Lakers and Magic have been planning this weekend for over a month to showcase the city, the best restaurants. They got it all laid out. This is what it's like to be a star in Los Angeles. Paul, LeBron, Russell, this could be you. Why don't you drive up to Beverly Hills, Bel Air, the mountains, looking down at the city? You could helicopter in like Kobe. And instead, they've got a dad who's out of the country yet remains in the news. It is not sitting well with Magic and Rob Pelinka this morning. This is the crisis. So they did a study recently on cats.
I hate cats.
Yeah, I love them.
You love cats?
Oh, love them.
How do I not know that?
Because they're aloof and have little time for people. So I love them.
I did not know you were a cat person.
Well, I have a dog too, but I like cats. And and so the point is, there's a study on cats, and cats are natural hunters. And so what they've said in the study is you should hide food or move it around the house, forcing your cats to find it. Otherwise, your cats get lazy and fat if you put it in a bowl, because cats are natural hunters. So, Colin, what is your point? That we know humans get content and lazy, but even animals do. Animals need to be challenged. And if you put for a cat a bowl of food every day, that cat ends up about a year later looking like a picnic ham. Okay, make it search for food. That's my point. People get lazy. Even animals do. So Steve Kerr did something very interesting last night. I covered Steve as a player. He's the only guy I can ever think of in the history of the NBA. I hold him in high regard. That was a good player, was a great broadcaster, is a great coach, and was a very solid GM. I'm not sure if anybody's ever done the 4 for 4, except Steve Kerr in the history of the league. He was the funniest guy ever covered, the smartest guy ever covered. He's a great dude. But last night he said, I'm not going to coach my team. I'm going to let the players coach themselves. Phoenix was a little dismayed by it, a little disrespected. Phoenix, you're awful. That's a you problem. So here's Steve Kerr talking about what he did last night.
It had to do with me trying to reach my team. I have not reached them for the last month. They're tired of my voice. I'm tired of my voice. You know, it's been a long haul these last few years. I think just having to count on each other and not hearing my voice, which, you know, sort of sounds like Charlie Brown's teacher or parents or whoever's voice that is. At this point, that's what I sound like to them. So they needed a different voice.
All right. Now, first of all,
love this.
He has played on arguably the greatest team ever, the mid-'90s Bulls, and now he's coaching arguably the greatest team ever, the Warriors. So he knows of what he speaks. And the NBA has always been 2 seasons. I used to joke with Bill Simmons all the time. He'd get worked up during the regular season. I'm like, Bill, for great teams, there's 2 seasons. There's autopilot. Okay, that's the regular season. That's the autopilot. And then there's the turbulence and you're flying through a storm. That's the playoffs. For the Bulls and the Warriors, they put it on autopilot. You never forget this about the Bulls, the 95-96 Bulls. Maybe the best team I've ever seen, probably the best team I've ever seen with this Warrior team and the Showtime Lakers. Never forget this. You know who they lost to that year? 21-61 Toronto, 35-47 Denver. Bad Phoenix teams, bad Charlotte teams. Now, Indiana was good and beat them a couple times, but by and large, they were bored out of their minds. And Steve Kerr gets this. But here's the 2 things I take away from this that really jump out to me what Steve Kerr did. Number 1 is Steve Kerr knows the number 1 criticism of him right now in the NBA is, well, hell, anybody can coach these guys. Luke Walton won like 25 straight. Mike Brown's been fired multiple times. He won. So Steve Kerr knows that the number 1 criticism of him is anybody could do this, yet he has the self-confidence to let his players coach the team. Like, how much does that tell you about the confidence and the self-esteem and the raw intelligence of Steve Kerr? That knowing that people are going to push back and go, he's like, no, I'm good. I know what I'm doing. That's the number 1 thing. The second thing is he acknowledges that the Golden State Warriors, on their 4th straight voyage to the finals, by the way, only the 2nd for the KD Warriors, he acknowledges they're fried. They are shot. They're bored. He's Charlie Brown's teacher. So my number 1 point is it shows the great confidence of Steve Kerr. My second point is LeBron's making his 8th straight voyage to the NBA Finals. And you folks won't give LeBron a break when he says he's a little tired or has an off night. Now think about this. Steph, Clay, Durant, Draymond, deep bench. They're fried as they seek their 4th. And they live in what I would call a dynamic town. San Francisco, Silicon Valley, great weather. It's a dynamic town. LeBron lives in cold, dark Cleveland. He's going for his 8th straight final, and none of you will give him a break when he has a bad January. Are you kidding me? You got all these guys in San Francisco. Frankly, the Kevin Durant Warriors are not even they're a year and a half into this. They're shot, fried, tedious, annoyed, bored. LeBron's on his 8th straight trip, and you're siding with Isaiah Thomas in that mess? Number one, Steve Kerr is really smart and has incredible self-confidence to do this. And number two, it just proves how great LeBron is.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.